Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from my channel, Highbrook Railway. Now today, as you can see, we are not on my railway, we're not in the loft, we are on Train Sim World 2020. I haven't got Train Sim World 2 frankly because I don't really like the look of it, and the array of different routes and such in Train Sim World 2020 rather than Train Sim World 2. Train Sim World 2020 just has much more interesting routes. For example, we've got the Northern Trans Pennine, we've got the American subway one there, which is quite good. You've got the West Somerset Railway, Great Western Express. I've been on both the Great Western Express and that one. That one's quite fun to drive, and that one's a bit complicated with all its German engineering. But the scenario we're going to be doing today is in the West Somerset Railway one. I think I got this on for Christmas last year, so I've been playing quite a bit. We're doing Minehead Shunter Part 1. I was going to do preparation work, which is that one there, but all that is driving a Class 37 down to couple up some coaches, which is, it'd have been easier to do with it being just 30 minutes, but I thought we'd do the 45-minute one, which, to make it a bit longer, just 15 minutes longer, it's a lot interesting. And then in a few weeks' time, after I've done some more usual videos, a few weeks' time, I'll return to Train Sim World and we'll finish off the Minehead Shunter by doing part 2, but today we are doing part 1. I've only got 10 minutes of recording on Xbox because we are on Xbox, as you can see by the control information in the bottom right. So we are on Xbox, so I can only record for 10 minutes at a time, so there may be 4 or 5 places in this where I stop and then there's like a transition into it again, because it stops recording after 10 minutes, then I have to start it again and make sure it's all synced. So there might be some little jumps in here where I've had to stop and start recording, but hopefully everything should be okay. So apparently we're going to be carrying out some demonstration shunting with the Class 09 locomotive between Minehead and Washford, and that's the route there, as you can see. I have already done this, but I did do it a few months ago, so I can't exactly remember what's involved. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump in and do Minehead Shunter Part 1. So then, here we are. Welcome to the West Somerset Railway. Today you'll be taking part in some demonstration shunting. That's really annoying. I'll have to go back here. Today you'll be taking part in some demonstration shunting with the Class 09 locomotive, that's in front of us, between Minehead and Washford. Climb aboard. That's the thing, the captions don't stay on for very long, and especially when you're making a video you have to go back onto the message log. So I'll just set the map so we can just see what we're doing. First of all, I will set the marker lights. So that's the thing it asks you to do. You go inside and then you have to turn on the switch and then go back outside and then go back in. So here we are. I will take my time and show you everything. It might be a bit late in the scenario, but everything should be okay. We've got carriages over here. This is the station. It's very nice. The Class 47 in two-tone green is up there, which is also very nice. This is the 09 Shunter. If you're interested in the number, it's D3670. It's pretty much almost identical to my 08 Shunter that I have. It's in the same livery. In fact, the 08s and the 09s are pretty much identical, apart from the 09s are geared differently. So I think they can go up to 25 or it might be 27. Whereas with the 08s they only go to 15 and then the brakes automatically deploy. You can try and go faster than that. So anyway, we'll go into the cab. I'll do my usual thing of setting everything up. So marker lights and interior lights because it's dark in here. And apparently we have to sit down. Now I can't remember what's going on here. I can't exactly remember doing this scenario, so we'll have to see how it goes. I will try and get outside shots, such as I can follow the camera like this. Obviously I can drive it from the outside as well. I can sort of, poke my head out the window like this so you can see a bit better. So I'll try and get some good shots, and wherever possible I will try and use the controls by pressing A rather than applying throttle using the buttons on the controller. I'll try and use the controls in the cab rather than controlling everything just with, buttons on the controller, because I'm pressing the button for the horn on the controller there, and pressing it there obviously is a lot better because you can see what I'm doing. So wherever possible I will try to do that. So release the brakes, We've put the reverser in forwards, and we have to sound the horn twice. It's a very interesting horn, I must say. And we have to stop at Washford. So, speed limit's 10. Gauges are on this side, which is good. A good thing about the 08s and the 09s, they have rotatable gauges, so if you sat on either side, then you can move them around. So, I will stick my head out the window like this. Although it's not brilliant on this side, because this box is in the way. But what I might actually do is I'll put my head out the right. We can see a bit better there. Can't really use the throttle when I'm out like this though, so I'll use the controls on the controller rather than doing it in the cab. Might as well put the window down for a bit of realism, seeing as, you know, got your head out, you've got to have the window open. So yeah, we're on our way. I've got to go to Washford. Leaving the station here. And we are on the flat. We've got 5.1 miles to go, so I may cut some bits out if it gets too long. Minehead signal box. Thought it was Minehead station that we've just left, so we're leaving the 47 and all the other coaches behind. I will cut some bits out if I have to. Obviously the journey there is going to be quite long. Got crossing, so I shall sound the horn. Very interesting horn. My 08, I think, has a whistle on it rather than a horn. It's interesting, but this is an 09, so a very, very interesting horn. And now we can get up to 25, which is the limit for heritage railways. So I will ease the throttle up. And there we have our little 09. So it's quite a hilly route is this, if I remember rightly. You know, you get to sort of 1 in 84. You get quite steep on this route here. It's a very nice route though, it's quite scenic to say it's in a day, I must say. Give it the beans. But yeah, overall it's a really nice model of the 09 Shunter. The rods can be a bit laggy and they can jump about a little bit. You know, it's not absolutely 100% perfect, because it won't be, but the model of it's fairly nice. The wheels most of the time seem to be smooth. The noise and the horns are about right, and you know, if you just move around here, the detail is really quite good. Especially like all the cabling, how all that's marked out inside the cabin. You know, just everywhere you look at the train, it's just really, really, really well put together. Obviously, you can see everything's really detailed, and you know, I think Dovetail Games have made a good job here of making sure everything is perfect. Obviously, they've gone and visited 08s and 47s and other locomotives and rolling stock in this game to make sure it's right, and you know, it is a very beautiful game. I mean, you can just look anywhere and, you know, detail, it's just anywhere you look. I mean, look at these pipes here, just, you know, it's probably as close to real as you can get on an helicopter, so it just, everything, everywhere you look, it's fantastic. Crossing. I'll pop inside for a bit, I think. The cab detail is also very good as well. You've got all these pipes and valves. Obviously got the brakes and things like that. Just everywhere you look looks really, really nice. You can see there, bottom right, it is getting quite hilly, so might have to give it the beans. I should probably take you through the control shunter. So that's driver's brake, so you should only really use that when you're running with rolling stock behind you. You've got the straight brake there, which is just for, and I'm about to speed. Let's apply the brakes. This is what I get with talking. Probably sound the horn for that crossing. This is what you get with talking. I'm not watching the speed limits. Silly me. I should watch the speed limits. Anyway, we've got driver's brakes. That's for use when you've got rolling stock behind you. So if I've got coaches behind me or freight wagons or anything like that, then that applies brakes both on the rolling stock behind you and on the locomotive. Whereas the straight brake you only use when you're just running the locomotive light, like we are here. That applies brakes only on the locomotive, whereas that does it on the locomotive and the rolling stock. That's sanding. Put sand onto the wheels, onto the track. Gave you extra traction, so you've got front and rear there. Sound the horn for the crossing. Up there you've got the emergency brake. You shouldn't have to use that. Obviously that's your current gauge, tells you how much current your traction motors are drawing. That's your speed. Top speed in this is really 25. I've had it up to 30 when I've been racing about before. Obviously you've got all your gauges around there, but not really necessary, so you use the hood in the bottom. Got your horn down here, your reverser, forwards, off, reverse, throttle, which goes from 1 to 4, and your master switch for start there. You don't need that. You can open your doors and the windows. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty nice cab. You've got your parking brake there as well. Unfortunately, you can't open any of these cupboards or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. But you know, can't have everything. On the class 47 and 45 on the Northern Trans Pennine, which I might visit in a video like this in the future, after I've done Minehead, Shunter Part 1 and Part 2, I might go on the Northern Trans Pennine and do a big route there. On those you can literally everything in the cab you can turn or do something with, but on here we can't open these cupboards, can't turn that switch. The wipers at the back do work though. It's a bit annoying that you can't open all the cupboards, and you know, in the class 47 I think there's a hot plate. Oh no, that's the class 66. The class 66 on the Great Western Express, you can actually turn on the hot plate. It doesn't do anything, but you know, it's just nice being able to fiddle and having the option to turn it on if you want. And you know, there's a fresh air supply in the 66, and there's all sorts. You know, in the 166, which is on the Great Western Express as well, you can even, you know, fiddle around with the temperature and the fan speed controls, which is, you know, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really make a fan noise over the noise of the engine, but it's still a really nice thing to be able to have. You know, you can fiddle with it. Yeah, it might not do anything, but just the fact that you can fiddle with it is pretty good. I should probably throttle off. We are going downhill. Looks weird seeing a little shunter like that doing, you know, 25. The crossing there. Sound of the horn. And off it goes. I mean, it is a game, but you can't say that it doesn't look terrible, does it? I mean, it's sunny, the weather's nice, you know, you've got all the trees and all that around. It's just a lovely game to be able to play. The scenery is, obviously, it's not fantastic. The trees aren't of great detail, and the grass isn't of great detail, because really, it's about the railway and the track. But to say it's a train-based game, it's not half bad as the scenery. You know, they've sort of got the haze when it's hot over the mountains. They've got that on the head, haven't they? So yeah, in 800 yards we've got 15 miles per hour. So I shall watch that instead of, you know, talking and not missing it. You know, you can even get down by the track and, you know, pretend to be a train spotter and watch your train go by. You know, just the possibilities. You can just fiddle around. You can drive from the outside, or you can drive from the inside. It's just an interesting game. Here it comes. Horn for the crossing and for the train spotter. And there we go. Off we go. We have got a beach area here as well. Again, not too detailed, but you know, they certainly haven't skimped on the scenery, if you know what I mean. They've made it look nice, although the focus is on the train, isn't it? But yeah, they've made it look nice. I did decelerate a bit soon. But not to worry. Better to speed in a 5 mile. Better than speeding off in a 5 mile an hour zone at 22 like I did earlier. Some old carriages there. Not particularly detailed, to say they are old carriages. Look a bit 2D. But, you know, you can't have everything. And I keep pressing Y because I think I'm in the camera mode. When you're outside, you can have camera mode so you can move your camera, and driver mode so you can drive it. And I keep pressing Y. I forget that I am driving it. I'm not, you know, I can't switch between driver and camera because this is technically an internal view. And I've done it again. Keep doing that. You don't have to press Y, I'm driving it. I'm not outside in a camera view. Go back up to 25 shortly. And there's the station gone. And we're just coming into the station, but there's a glitch with the game. For the last couple of, well, probably about 10 minutes, it's been saying that the station was 1.5 miles away. So I was just getting clips of it. I was getting clips of, you know, the train just going past, which you'll see in the edit. But for some reason, until I got about, you know, 100 yards away. I got 100 yards away from the station, and then it quickly, you know, switched to saying 100 yards. So about 100 yards away. And for the last sort of 5 minutes, it's been saying 1.5 miles away. And I didn't really notice until I was pulling around that corner where you can see that bridge is there. And I'm like, hang on a minute, there's a blue stop marker there, and it says 1.5 miles away. That's not right. So the game obviously said it was 1.5 miles away, but as soon as I got under that bridge, it switched. It jumped from 1.5 miles to, you know, a couple of 100 yards away. I'm like, well, that's wrong. That was quite confusing as well. So yeah, slight glitch in the game there. It is quite a glitchy game, I must say that. So now I have to set the junction, and I've turned the reverser off. I've put the brakes on, and we can turn that to engine only. Probably what I should do. But yeah, so I was just coming, you can see where that bridge is there. I was coming around the corner like, oh, there's 1.5 miles away, and then I was like, hang on a minute, there's a station here. How many more stations is there on this line? And then after that, I was like, hang on a minute, there's a stop marker there. It can't possibly be 1.5 miles away. And then when I thought that, it jumped from 1.5 miles to, you know, a couple of hundred yards. I was like, oh dear. So, bit of a rushed start to start recording there. I apologise for that, but you know, when the game glitches, there's nothing really I can do about that. But yeah, so now we have to set the point to the correct track. There we are. And we can go in this side. We can set this back to on. It wants me to sit on this side. Fair enough. Forwards. Remember, set and check at any point work required to navigate the yard. Okay. I'll go outside view for this. We might as well. So we've got to couple to these coaches up here. So that point is set to go in there. These points don't look like they need setting. Does this one need setting? No. Yes, actually. That one needs setting, and we're going to the first set of coaches, and that's okay. So, I think I shall stand on the platform and do this. So, we have to release the brakes first. I think I put the I put these brakes on. You can't release these on the control. The only one you can apply and release is the driver's brake, which is a bit annoying. However, we'll get moving. And now I can go back onto the platform. I did say you're only supposed to use the straight brake when the driver's brake when you've got stock coupled behind you. However, seeing as I want to do it like this, I'll have to use a straight brake because that's the only one I can control when being outside of the loco, unfortunately. We are going downhill. Or we were. So I shall get in position. I must say, the brakes on this engine take ages to release. Not when you've just got the loco by itself, but the driver's brake, or the brakes, when you're coupling, take ages to release when you've got, you know, rolling stock. It's a bit annoying. Coupling's also not the easiest. There we are, we're coupled. He wants me to go in the driver's seat. Can I cheat by doing it this way? Nope, it wants me to go inside, okay. Very awkward is this game at times. So we want to go straight backwards, which is fine, we've just been there. So look, if I take these to 0, the vacuum brake is the, well, it's the one that says vac. You can see there, it takes an age to release. You know, it looks like it's going fast, but then it really slows down, and you can't just apply power and get moving, because then your engine stalls, and then you have to start it up again. It just takes forever to release. Anyway, we're finally there. Let's... There we are. We'll get moving. And now I should use the driver's brake because we have got stock. Might as well pick up a bit of speed. And back it off. Put on the brakes. There we are. Now we have to couple to the other formation, which is where that is. So I will cheat and use the map. So let's go in there. Let's just check. Let's go. So we are here. That's our train. Want to go in there. That leads into there. Up there. And that one is set for there, so I think we're okay. So forwards, brakes off. I try to only use first application because otherwise if you put it all the way on then it takes forever. And we should, if I'm not mistaken, be going into this siding. Get these coaches. Let's give it the beans, get them moving. Here we are, brakes required. And it has told me to wait. Pull these coaches back to Minehead to continue the demonstration. Hopefully we don't get the glitch with the marker or the distance locator being the wrong way. That'll be really annoying. Might as well check the point work while we're in this camera mode. We want that to be the other way. And that is set for our siding. So come on 09 Shunter. Let's get you going. Oh, I've set the direction wrong. Oh dear, there's been an oopsie. Yeah, according to the speedo, we're doing 200 miles per hour. What the gidding? What? What's going on here? What is up with this speed? You know, when I say this game is laggy, it's not normally this bad. Right, let's try again. Reverse. Thank you, we're not doing 400 miles per hour. Honestly, I don't know. I do not know. The game's not normally this bad. That is very, very, very confusing. Anyway, moving on. let's forget that we're apparently doing 400 miles per hour. Let's get these coaches back behind me. Right then, so I So I cut that bit out. It was taking a while, but you will have been showed some nice shots of the train going past. Thought it was better than me talking all the time. So we're coming up to Minehead. 0.6 miles we've got to go down to 10 miles per hour. About 950 yards now. And then in 0.8 miles we'll actually be there. So I've just left it about 19-20 instead of going up to 25. I don't want to have to brake too hardly. So we're coming up. Everything's gone fine. No more glitches or anything. To say that this pack or this, this route with the 2 trains and the railway and that were 20 quid, it's quite glitchy. I've had a couple of glitches on today's video, but nevertheless, I hope you're still enjoying it. It's a bit different, it's Train Sim World. This is the first Train Sim World video I've recorded, so if things are a bit, not as good as you'd expect, and that's probably why. Hopefully when I come to do Minehead Shunter Part 2 in a few weeks' time, then that'll be a little bit better. I'll have, got into the rhythm from this video, I've got into the rhythm of making Train Sim World videos, but I hope it's been enjoyable so far. I'm going to start bringing on the brakes now, just a little bit. On for the crossing. It's always a good idea to do that. I think we're coming down nicely. I'm going to let off on the brakes a little bit. I don't want to go below the speed limit. Because I think it gives you 3 miles per hour of allowance. It goes into yellow when you go above it. And then it's like, if it's 10 miles an hour, then it'll go 10, then 11 it'll go yellow, 12 it'll go yellow, 13 it'll go yellow, and then when you get to 14, that's when it starts going red. So it's like 3 mile an hour tolerance above, which I think is pretty fair. Crossing. Typical woo 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 of British crossings. Level crossings. So, we're pulling in. I don't think any point work is needed to be set. I think it's all set for us. Put a little bit of brakes on. Yep, point work is all set for us. That's always nice. Bring down the speed now to about 7ish or so. Leave it there. Just take a while to release as well, as I say. It's been quite irritating. But if it's realistic, then I'm not bothered. It just seems to take a while to release. The driver's brake, the main brake, takes ages to release whenever you've got rolling stock. Even if you've just got, a 2-coach train, which I have done in the past on here. 2-coach train, the main brake takes ages to come off, but the straight brake, which is just for the locomotive only, comes off in about 3 seconds. The main brake comes off in about 3 seconds if you've just got the locomotive by itself, but as soon as you put stuff behind it, it takes a while. I suppose if it's a vacuum brake, then it's got to generate, the vacuum to pull the brake blocks off the wheels, but anyway, so full service. So I think that is the end of this scenario. So I will properly shut down the locomotive. I might as well do it properly. We're off there. Reverser is off. Throttle off. Master key. At start. Off, and then that kills the engine. I'll turn off the marker lights. Might as well turn off the interior lights as well. Make sure everything's sorted. Put on the parking brake, because that's really what you should do. Shut down the engine properly. But yeah, so that has been Minehead Shunter Part 1 on the West Somerset Railway. I do hope you have enjoyed that. Here we are at Minehead, and we'll be continuing with Minehead Shunter Part 2 in probably a week or 3, maybe a date between those, maybe 3 weeks, and we'll do Minehead Shunter Part 2. So we are in Minehead. We've got our quite long train, and when I run my 08 with coaches, might not seem realistic, but at least on Heritage Railway it is. But yeah, lovely shunter there, number D3670, the Class 09. Reminds me a lot of the 08. I have to keep reminding myself it's actually an 08 and not an 09. Well, mine is anyway, because, I come on Train Sim World and think, is this an 08 or an 09? Because I'm trying to remember what mine is. It just looks very similar. But anyway, I do hope you have enjoyed. I will probably see you back on Train Sim World in about 3 weeks. We'll do Minehead Shunter Part 2, and then we might move on a few weeks after that onto 66, or we might do something on the Northern Trans Pennine. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. So take care of yourselves, and bye for now.